All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Let's go ahead and get into it. Me, you, and the other guy, Frank Monday, coming at you from Twilight Zone Old Peking, deep within the central kingdom of the celestial dragon, far behind the bamboo firewall. Coming at you once again like Finnegan. I hope you are doing I hope you are doing well, Wayfarer. I'm checking the feedback loop. Sounds like we're good to go. So that's good magic, man. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. Check me out on buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. Pull a something in the tip jar, right? Keep the lead in the old pencil. I can appreciate that. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Y'all good looking sexy people out in happy land. Make sure you chime in and let me where you're tuning in from and when it is where you are, right? Whoever you are, wherever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission. Welcome back, Wayfarer, Wizard Warrior, Wanderer, and Wildcat alike. All are welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening. I hope you are doing well. Why don't you take a deep breath and command yourself to relax. I'm going to let Israel Regardi get us started tonight with the invocation of Tahuti. Meanwhile, I'll be behind the scenes getting everything ready for y'all good looking sex people, and I'll be in the chat room. So drop me a message and let me know what's going on, and let's talk about it.
Invocation of Thoth. Procul, O procul esti profani, qual lasti ompeda. In the name of the mighty and terrible one, I proclaim that I have banished the shells unto their habitations. I invoke Tahuti, the Lord of wisdom and of utterance, the God that cometh forth from the veil. O thou majesty of the Godhead, wisdom-crowned Tahuti, Lord of the gates of the universe, thee I invoke. O thou of the ibis head, thee I invoke. Thou who wieldest the wand of double power, thee I invoke. Thou who bearest in thy left hand the rose and cross of light and life, thee I invoke. Thou whose head is as an emerald, and thy nemesis as the night sky blue, thee I invoke. Thou whose skin is of flaming orange as though it burned in a furnace, thee I invoke. Behold, I am yesterday, today, and the brother of tomorrow. I am born again and again. Mine is the unseen force whereof the gods are sprung, which is as life unto the dwellers in the watchtowers of the universe. I am the charioteer of the east, Lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dusk, and my birth is from the house of death. O ye two divine hawks upon your pinnacles, who keep watch over the universe, ye who company the bier to the house of rest, who pilot the ship of wrong, ever advancing onwards the heights of heaven, Lord of the shrine which standeth in the center of the earth. Behold, He is in me, and I in him. Mine is the radiance, wherein Ptah floateth over the firmament. I travel upon high. I tread upon the firmament of new. I raise that flashing flame with the lightning of mine eye, ever rushing on in the splendor of the daily glorified Ra, giving my life to the dwellers of earth. If I say, come up upon the mountains, the celestial waters shall flow at my word. For I am Ra incarnate, Kepra, created in the flesh. I am the eidolon of my father Tamu, lord of the city of the sun. The God who commands is in my mouth. The God of wisdom is in my heart. My tongue is the sanctuary of truth, and a God sitteth upon my lips. My word is accomplished every day, and the desire of my heart realizes itself as that of Ptah when he createth his works. I am eternal, therefore all things are as my designs, therefore do all things obey my word. Therefore do thou come forth unto me from thine abode in the silence, unutterable wisdom, or light, or power. So, Hermes, Mercury, Odin, by whatever name I call thee, thou art still nameless to eternity. Come thou forth, I say, and aid and guard me in this work of art. Thou, star of the east, that didst conduct the Magi, thou art the same all-present in heaven and in hell. Thou that vibratest between the light and the darkness, rising, descending, changing ever, yet ever the same. The sun is thy father, thy mother the moon. The wind hath borne thee in its bosom, and earth hath ever nourished the changeless Godhead of thy youth. Come thou forth, I say, come thou forth, and make all spirits subject unto me, so that every spirit of the firmament and of the ether, upon the earth and under the earth, on dry land and in the water, of whirling air and of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God the vast one may be obedient unto me.
All right, good magic. There it is there, huh? That's it for Israel Regardi, guys, getting us started with the invocation of Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, Tahuti, Odin, Ludom Bing. I call upon thee, I invoke thee. He of the ibis head, who standeth before me in glory, hail unto thee who art Ra in thy rising, even unto thee who art Ra in thy strength, who travellest over the heavens at the uprising of the sun. Tahuti standeth in his splendor at the prow, and Ra-Hor abideth at the helm. Hail unto thee from the abodes of the night. All right, good looking out. We got some sexy people out there in the chat room tonight. Good looking out, everyone. Jacksonville, Florida, tuning in. Brian Acosta, good to see you, man. Is that Acosta or Acosta? All right, Acosta Coffee is the only Costa I know. I got to shut this window over here, man. They're fucking out there making noise in the yard. Motherfuckers getting busy out there swinging dick. You know what I'm saying? Helicopter in it. Jesus Christ. Brian's here, guys. Good to see you, Brian. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. Flat Earth Outlaw is in the house. This is a level-headed dude right here. He's all squared away, right? He knows what's up. He knows the cut. Good man. Good looking out, Flat Earth Outlaw. Good to see you. And Voy, the artiste, is with us. Good to see you, Voy. Tuning in from the Netherlands. Not the Everlands, but the Neverlands. Voy better watch the fuck out. He can found himself down in Oh, what is that called? Alligator Alcatraz, right? Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it's amazing that Voy speaks English as a second language, but a very fluent and native speaker at that. Got a very good accent. No, well, his foundation is Germanic, so that has a lot to do with it, I'm sure. Glazing, yeah, glazing Harmon. Yeah, that's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We call that in Chinese, guys, we call that pai ma pi. Let me turn off that light so it's not in your eyeballs. Let me see which one it is. Yeah, that's the one right there. I don't want that thing blazing in your guys' eyeballs, right? It's no kind of fun. Ooh, man, I had a heck of a day. We were in meetings all day at the academy, just one thing after another. Let me get this handkerchief on, right? Get my little memento mori going. I hope y'all good looking, sexy people are doing all right tonight out in Happy Land. We are in the present Hell Hotel, right? Um, Voice here, Flat Earth Outlaw, and Monsieur Brian Acosta. All right, let's get this bib on so I don't spill some of that hot sake on my robe. That wouldn't be any kind of cute. Yeah, that's perfect right there, huh? That looks lovely. So what's going on out in Happy Land with you guys tonight? Can you hear me okay? We're getting 5x5 on the audio transmission. I wanted to show you guys a really nice gift I got from one of the leaders at work today. I think it's really beautiful. It's quite a thing. It's not this fan, but this fan is lovely too, man. You like that? That's really nice. I whipped out this fan at work today. It was kind of hot in the office, and I was fanning myself off. And one of my coworkers they said, you have usurped the imperial gold. In ancient China, only the emperor could use the color yellow. And they said it looks like you're sporting imperial gold right there. That's a violation. That would get your hands cut off in ancient China. So don't be doing that. Yeah, so check this out, man. This was a gift from one of the leaders in the department. I gave a speech today at work, and everybody really liked it. Like I almost got like a standing ovation. It wasn't appropriate, obviously, but everyone was like, "Damn, Frank, that was a motivated kind of speech and shit." And I was like, "Well, the big boss wasn't there, and I knew that it was being videotaped and it would be sent to him. So if it hadn't been for that, I probably wouldn't have done much. But due to the fact that it was on record and it was going to the big boss, I was like, I'm gonna put on a bit of a show. So I whipped out some of my Chinese, and made everybody laugh. And everyone else spoke in English. Yeah, so it came in this really nice tote bag, this beautiful Chinese tote bag, and it's got the ancient hieroglyphs on it, so this shows you right off that it's a genuine product, man. This is legit peaking. I already did an unboxing video on it on my shorts. So if you want to see me rip off the plastic, man, you gotta get in there and check it out. This thing is like, I don't know how much it weighs, but it's got to be like, oh, I don't know, like 5, 6, maybe 10 pounds. Who knows? It's really heavy. Look at that. It's got beautiful binding. It's this giant book. And I was like, what is this, man? And it says it right here. It says it right here on the book, man. It says it's 最美中国故地图, 故地图. So D2 means map or earth picture, and then gu means ancient. So it says it's a beautiful representation of ancient maps from China. Yeah, this thing is solid, man. You could knock somebody the fuck out with this thing, man. And so the whole book is filled with like these archaic maps of ancient China and all the old maps making style. And it's funny too, because I was just watching a John Levi video on old maps. You guys know John Levi, right? And I thought, it might be cool to look at some old maps. And then I thought to myself, self, are you really going to get on the internet and search out old maps? And I thought, no, I'm never going to fucking do that. And I thought, but yeah, it would be fun to like look at some old maps. And I thought, man, what if I had some old maps to look at? And I remembered that I actually do. Look, this one says Tai Bai Chun Tu, so it's got different regions at different periods in ancient China and maps of those locations. And this thing, man, this thing is giant. It's full gloss paper, beautiful, thick, like cardboard stock paper. It's got maps of internal alchemy. It's got ancient like wood cutting maps. It's got stone press maps. It's just got all kind of stuff. It's divided into chapters. Di Wuzhang, Hebei Shuili Tu. So here are maps that include like serious water features. And so I was hoping that I could have some old maps to look at. Then out of nowhere, the it says to activate chat, please enable channels here. That's weird. My chat cut off. I wonder what happened. Restream. Oh. Streaming. Add channels, paired channels. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys. My restream is fucking around with me. All right, anyway, whatever. It is what it is. So I thought I would share that with you guys. Really a beautiful thing, man. What a beautiful book. What a treasure. And that just shows you how powerful the mind of the magician is, right? I put the quote right here. You have within you a mighty power that can and will manifest all that you desire. All you need to do is ask. And I didn't even ask. I just thought it, man. This kind of shit happens all the time. Every time I think of something, it's like, bam, there it is there. Just flying at me. The doors of the temple flying wide open. So that's going to give me something fun to do over the holiday because we're getting off this week. This is the last week. I had to, yes, indeed, boy, I had to perform under pressure, and I didn't even take no pressure with it, man. My, uh, my department leader contacted me and said, "Hey, Frank, you haven't sent in your PPT for the professional development section of the workshop on Monday yet." I was like, "Oh, really?" And I thought to myself, I'm like, I didn't even know I had to turn one in. And so I spent like 3 hours knocking out a good PPT. And then I watched everyone else's PPT. And I thought, good, like all morning long, the first part of the whole morning, I watched other people's, and mine was scheduled for the afternoon. And everybody was getting sleepy and falling asleep, and all of them were super boring. And I thought, you know what? I said, I'm just going to show my PPT and then just riff with the crowd, just talk to people, say thank you to everyone and enjoy the time together. And I did that, and like it just blew everyone's mind. They're like, God damn, that was refreshing. That was like some stand-up comedy and shit. But I didn't do any comedy. I wanted to. I was actually gonna open with a joke. And I thought, yeah, better not. This is academia. They don't respond well to humor. So I opened with poetry, Chinese poetry, and that secured my audience. Once I had done that, they were like, yeah, they were all sitting upright and paying attention. And then I kind of just worked the room and flipped through the PPT and then said thank you. And I could tell they were ready. Yeah, they were ready for me to keep going. That's right. That's right. And I didn't. It was 15 minutes. I had to go 15 minutes, and I took my 15 minutes and I closed right on, boom, like a succulent. And the three, I think there was 3 or 4 people that followed me, and they all took like a note from what I had done, and they like actually tried to connect with some of the other educators that were there, and they didn't do it with the kind of flair that I got, but I was like, yeah, I had a little impact, a little influence, little people trying to, um, Hard act to follow, baby. What you talking about, right? Yeah, it was good fun. Thank you, Voy. I really appreciate that. I do. It's a rare thing, like I had to give, I think, maybe 3 or 4 speeches this semester, and all of them I dreaded and loathed. But when it came time to stand up there and shine behind the altar of Saturn, and I know that my head's on the fucking chopping block just as much as anyone else's. I thought this is do or die, right now. You either make an impact or you fucking go home. Either go big or go home. Yeah, so it was good fun, man. I enjoyed it. And I got rewarded. I think I'm the only person that the leader gave a gift. Like, he approached me afterwards and said, "Hey, why don't you come to my office for a second? I got a little something for you." And I was like, "All right, what's going on?" Rubbing my hands together, salivating, getting ready for it. And he laid that fucking book on me, and I was like, "Damn, this is substantial." And it wasn't cheap either. It's got the price on the back. I'm not going to tell you how much it all cost, but that's a legitimate Chinese antiquity product right there. So yeah, it's good fun. Yeah, you got that too. You do well on stage. Yeah, good man. Good man. I can appreciate that. I know you do too. I know you do that kind of stuff. And you got a fan right here, Flat Earth Outlaw. He been singing your praises. Any of y'all good looking sexy people want to come up and chat with me a little bit? Man, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the link in the chat and see if there's anybody out there in Happy Land. Somebody else who really does well on the stage is our beloved friend, Kong,
So we
over
talk
at the Machine
about
Lies.
the
Let's check this
lies
out
of the
one time.
machine on the machine that lies.
All right, entertainment.
Basically, on the stream, The Machine Lies, we're taking a very critical look at technology. So the reason we're doing that is because we're looking at the medium that is used to communicate, right, and transmit information, right? We don't think that any form of mediation is neutral, right, but it's laden with values. And so I think that the well has been polluted by technology. So obviously we take a critical look at technology, right? Okay, we're looking at different concepts in relation to technology, right? In terms of philosophy, right? And in terms of religion. Now, that is one of the main purposes of the show, is that we really look at where technology and religion, science, and spirituality, where those things intersect, right? Because there's a crisis of the modern world in which there's a majority of the modern world is religious people. Their mindset is secular, and the means they employ are secular. We're living in a post-liberal, post-human, post-geological age, right? So we're talking about the death of liberalism, the rise of the world technological system. Now, we do think that, okay, there's a considerable level of externalization of the ego, okay, and mediation of ourselves through the means we employ. So obviously, we shape tools, but the tools we use shape us, right? So that's one of the main things we're trying to get across on the show, is how technology changes human psychology. If you question the means you employ and what the objective factors of power are in our age, right, then that's the most important question you can ask, right? That's the most critical stance you could actually take, right? Like, most people don't question, how or what means they use to question, to ask the question itself, right? So we're actually taking a critical look at technology, right, as a primary form of communication, as an objective factor of power in our age, right? And we think that basically we're assuming that a lot of the stuff that we see through this medium is totally made up, right? Fabricated. And that is based on the fact that it is artifice. It's produced by a machine, right? So we talk about the lies of the machine on the machine that lies.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. There it is. That's Kong over at the Machine That Lies and Cyber Caliphate. Absolutely one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to fairly religiously, like nearly every day, guys. Like whenever he's broadcasting, because it's one of those podcasts that I can listen to throughout the day, and I get philosophical insights and stimulating conversations and intellectual challenges, and it's all in line with the kind of thing I like, right? So that's one of the ones I can't participate in live streams throughout the week. Typically, you guys know this. I work like a full time job, like 60 hours a week at an academy. but I can listen to everyone else transmitting. So to be completely honest with you guys, I listen to Jack Talcott pretty much every day, man. He's usually only on for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours. But I pretty much tune into the Jack Talcott show every day. So Chats with Jack, if you guys don't know it, definitely check it out. He's a lot of fun. I enjoy Jack. A lot of people, they got a lot of fucking opinions, but I don't give any kind of fucks about any kind of opinions. Hey, we've got a visitor in the ideas room, guys. Maestro Void the artiste is here himself. I'm going to bring him up on the show, guys. If you know him, then you love him. If you don't know him, then you're about to get to know him right now. So with no further ado, let's welcome Void to the stage. Void, how's it going, man? The fuck? It's got you all down in the corner and shit. Hey there, how's it going, man?
I'm okay. How are you on this Monday, Frank?
Yeah, Frank Monday on a Monday. Doing good, man. Doing really good. I had a good day.
Well, I'm not a fan of Jack Talcott.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you over there on his show a couple of times.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody has to be.
So first thing I thought of Jack Talcott was like, I never heard so many preposterous and empty words. The loud sounding empty words, right? Yeah. Loud sounding empty words.
You're gonna call a spade, aren't you? Yeah, just straight dropping facts.
Yeah,
that's all right.
he's
doing his thing. He's out there shaking his dick.
If only he's just fondling his pussy. That's what it looks like. He's not holding his dick in his hand at all.
He's helicoptering it. Yeah. I honestly, though, I love Jack. Like when I got involved in the panel verse,
why do you love Jack?
Because the first show I was on was Queen Stephanie over at Team Evil. The leader of the Insanity Machine.
Yeah.
And he was all right to me, like in the first couple of hours, but he didn't believe a single word I had to say. He was totally disingenuous. He thought I was lying. He thought somebody sent me. He was like, what's going on with you? You're a liar. You must be in the panel verse. And it was my first ever panel chat. And like after I got off, I went and I looked back at what he did to the chat. Like he went back and he just talked a hell of shit about everyone and me. And like I researched his channel a little bit, and it was so disenchanting. And at the same time, he was bashing Jack. And so I went onto Jack's channel next, and Jack was just fucking lovely, man. He was wonderful. I know that he's full of shit 90% of the time, or it feels like it, but he seems genuine in what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, stupid people are genuine too, right? But they're still stupid. You might think they're brave, but no, they're just stupid. Still they're genuine. They're not brave though. They're stupid. Genuine.
Well, fair enough. He treated me though with dignity and sincerity, and he was nice. And like I noticed that he did that with everyone, even people that fucking bash him nonstop, 24/7.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Why doesn't he make that discrimination? Why does he also allow the stupidest people, the most interruptive people? Like, he has an explanation for that. He says that he challenges himself.
To grow and be more like the Lord. And at the same time, he's trying to bring those individuals some healing. Do you know Harmon? We've got another guy in the back room. Is Harmon a good guy?
Yeah. Okay. That's Harmon Walker. He calls himself Flat Earth Outlaw.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Great. Welcome to the show, Harmon. Good to see you, man. How
you doing, sir? All right. Hey, boy, how's it going, buddy?
What's good, Harmon?
Not much. I agree with you about Jack. Jack, to me, Frank, it's good that he's maybe a good guy, but he's got the mentality of a gnat, in my opinion.
But a gnat with a very big brain, though, right?
Did you
He's very good at talking, man. You can't.
I don't think so. I can't handle it. Just a bunch. He says 10 minutes of words hasn't said his thing yet. Did you see him in that Washington D.C. thing?
I did. Yeah.
Did you see his
I
eyes?
did.
His eyes
Oh
and his
my
eyebrows.
gosh.
Man, he's like the perfect madman on
Then-
screen, right?
Then all the guys and the other guys he was supposedly talking for, they all just like kicked him out of there the next day. But I don't know how they picked him out of the group to go talk. That was just like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, his fucking lottery ticket got pulled on that one, so that's good magic. I can
But then-
appreciate it.
Yeah, and then he just went over and living with Rose the last time I heard.
What's
Yeah,
that?
he's been a week or so with her. I'm not
Oh.
familiar with her, but I've heard she's been up to some fucking naughtiness here on the panels. Like,
Oh,
Don't
in
even-
November, she's been since November. She's been ostracized pretty much. Shot herself in the foot.
is that
Yeah.
right? Before we get into her, though, let me say my piece with Jack. Jack was the first one to show me kindness and sincerity here on the panel verse, and I was new to it all. And he welcomed me with open arms. Like, he even went backstage with me, and we got into a love fest and shit, and it was all kinds of happiness. I'm
When
not
was
talking about
this?
nothing gay, nothing
When
gay.
was this,
Just
Frank?
I don't know, 5-6 months ago, whenever I first started doing the panel
Okay.
chats. And I went to all kinds of other panels. I went to Flow State. I went to Poly Unslaved. I went to Nachika, a couple of others. And most people on it, they're like very insidious in what they do. But
What's
in
insidious?
all on, like they try to, what's a
Evil.
better word?
Evil,
Yeah, filled with
nefarious.
guile and treachery.
I know those words.
And Jack really, in my fucking discernment, does not seem to have that. He does not embody like a treacherous spirit. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong. But I've been
Well,
listening to him and
I hear what
interacting
you're
with
saying,
him for.
Frank, and I think, if you look at his eyes and you look at his body language and what triggers him, there's not very much depth to him. But
That
it's
I
not
would
like
have
I
to
wanted
agree
to.
with.
I
That I
don't.
would have
I
to
don't want to
agree with.
convince you of one or the other thing, but that's just my experience of Jack. Like, come on, man.
Okay, I just wanted to say my piece because he's always had my back, and I think he's not a bad guy, honestly. But I don't
I'm
disagree
with you on that one.
your
I'm
I don't
totally with
disagree
you.
with your guys' assessment either. I think that you're accurate in that. But I do want to talk about Rose because I
Yeah.
haven't crossed paths with her, and
Rose and Jack had a big one-on-one interview on her channel.
yeah, I watched that. I did watch that. And from what I understand, she's a paraplegic, right? She's like bedridden or
Since 19 years old.
Okay, wow. What a thing, huh?
That's
Yeah,
what
she ended up getting spina bifida, whatever that word is called. When she was 19, she
Okay.
ended up with spinal disease.
Right. But that doesn't give one an excuse
after she crashed out
Go
on
ahead.
multiple substances.
All right, wow. Well, on the panel verse, she's kind of a big deal. She's got like 6,700 subs, which is bigger than anyone in the general circuit. I mean, like, let's see, who's the next biggest? Flow State had on his other channel like 2,300, and on his new channel, he's got like, I don't know, 600 or 700 or something, right?
But what their face is blowing up, Rotten Tomato or something, whatever she's called. She's in a year and a half, she's gone to 10,000 subs.
Yeah, she's had a meteoric rise. That's the one that looks like a 12-year-old little boy, right?
I like that. I like that comment of yours on Raging Tomato's face. I still think she's hella cute, man.
Oh, she is. Boy, have you ever gone back into her channel and click on the old videos in order and go back and look at her stuff, what she started with? Have you ever done that?
I haven't, no.
Oh, it's quite entertaining how she started. She's really come.
Is it really?
Yeah, you could see the talent from the very beginning.
Okay, do tell.
Well, she was comedian first. She was doing comedian stuff. You know, she was doing like Saturday Night Live every week would have the news. You know, those guys doing news reports and stuff. She started off a format like that.
Well, yeah, she's got production value. I mean, Flow State does too. They've got it figured out. They know their game.
Flow State doesn't even close to production value. She does. She knows how to do it. Puts together with the songs, the videos, everything.
I'd say he's on par with her.
No,
He's
Hey,
flow,
definitely
really?
on par.
I don't even think close.
I think so.
Not
flow
production,
state
right?
does flow state does have production value, but it comes easier and more natural to him, right? So
If you
Yeah,
look
and
at her
I find
videos,
he
yeah.
doesn't. He
well,
flow doesn't need to put in too much effort, to get that production value.
yeah,
I-
I'm not going to blow any smoke up the Rotten Tomatoes ass because I honestly I just can't stand her. But
Oh, I
that's
like her.
just me.
See, you
Like
don't like
with
we don't get along with Jack. Well, no, we just don't like Jack's personality. You don't like her personality. I really
right,
like her
right.
personality.
Yeah, see,
I
that's
felt
just
good because a year ago, February, when she was starting getting going, I said, "Girl, you're gonna blow up," because she has that personality that I thought. I think Voy's going along with me. I need help here, Voy. She has that spark that people want to listen to.
yeah,
well,
You
no,
know?
yeah, she's got her game together. I'm not denying that at all. It just seems again, I'm looking for like genuineness and
and
sincerity,
but the
and
thing is,
it's
besides that, she also has a life going, right? You can also see this. She,
does she really? Okay, I don't know. I don't pay any
I
attention. I've
think
only
so.
watched her a couple of
YouTube
times.
is not her only thing,
Oh no,
and
she has the life, and plus she has to take care of her one or two daughters or something like that. Yeah, she's busy, single mom, big time.
yeah.
She has a lot
Yeah,
Then
going on.
again, but then again, she
yeah, it's
was
true.
married to a cop, and that,
To
I
a
mean,
what?
that cute face of her, that just, I mean, that degraded so many points when I heard that she was married to a cop. I was like,
That she's what?
Married to a
she was,
cop?
yeah, she was married to a cop. I was like, wow,
Okay.
really?
I don't see how you guys get it. She can't be more than 4'11", and she looks like a fucking little boy to me. I swear to God, she's sitting on a
You're
booster
funny,
seat.
Frank.
She's sitting on a fucking booster seat. I don't get it. I don't
Oh,
see the
she's at least
attraction.
5'3". Like 33
Listen,
years old,
if you're
34
that
years old.
cute, if you
She's
got
90
that
pounds,
cute
four
of
foot
a face,
11. Don't lie to
listen,
me.
that doesn't matter if you have that cute of a face and a rack going, and she's got a rack going. So,
Yeah, she's using an AI filter. I don't buy it. I'm not buying it.
could be the case. Could be the case.
Well, you go look at
And
her first video. She had long blonde hair. I
Mhm.
mean, long.
That always works for me.
Yeah, when
yeah,
she first
and
started.
I'm not anti. I'm not against her. I know she's got a bit of a production team. She's got some stuff going on. It's good magic. I can appreciate it. Um, and that type of thing is really popular right now, and I think that's the way to go. But I can't work YouTube live streaming as a day job. I got a full time job, and I just do this to connect with people like Voy and Harmon. This is the first time I've met you. Tell me a little bit about yourself, if you don't
Well, I've seen
mind.
you around quite a bit. A couple people told me to. Are you on Vlad's channel ever?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love ironwork. I
Yeah,
heard so.
he kept
Go
telling
ahead.
to sub to your channel. That's how I sub to your channel. I don't know your work. I don't know anything about you, but Vlad keeps telling everybody in the chat to sub to you.
Yeah, that's really good, man. I appreciate that. Vlad was actually like the fourth panel chat I was on, and he's legit, man. He's hardcore. Someone tried to convince me that he's an extreme anti-white racist.
Yes, he
Have you
is.
heard that? Is
Yes, he
that
is.
true?
Yes, he is.
Not to me. I've met him about 3 times down here in Vegas.
Dude,
I've
I
had
heard
Have
it.
lunch
you?
with him.
I had a reaction video on his video that he did. Recruiting, dividing, recruiting, and
That
because of
seems
that,
fucking crazy to me because I've never heard him say a single racist thing. And I'm a ghetto baby from the ground up. I was born on the border of Compton and Long Beach, and I get along with everyone. And so Vlad, to me, he's just like another brother. What's up, yo? So I'm very ghetto, and having heard that, I thought, wow, that seems pretty extreme. Like
No, I know
that's
what Voy's talking about. Voy, I was there that day, that channel, when quite a few people were getting mad at Voy, saying like this, quit trying to stir it up or something like that. But that was, and Voy being from where he's from, I don't know how he looks at it different than what we look at it. So it's our cultures are different. And I
yeah,
remember Voy voiced to him his concerns that day. Am I right, Voy?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So
And
I'm
so,
guessing you're an American, right, Harmon? Is that correct?
yeah, I was born in Riverside County. I live over here in Laughlin, Nevada now.
Okay, wow. Riverside County, where? Like California? No.
Yeah, isn't Riverside County in California?
Yeah, right outside of Jurupa Valley, right? Wow.
Next to San Bernardino. But but you're from the LA area?
Yeah, I'm LA County boy, right? Like right on the border of Long Beach Airport, man. My dad was
Yeah,
Navy.
my all my kids live in Long Beach.
Okay,
Live right
wow, good
across the
place. I
street
love
from the
it.
pyramid. Right across the street from the pyramid.
Nice. Yeah, Balboa
Anyway, so
Park.
I'm gonna tell you where I'm from. If you know where I'm from, you will laugh.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
Blythe.
Say again?
Blythe.
Blythe. Blythe.
I don't even fucking know where that is.
See,
Where
that's
is
that's
that
I'm
from?
saying. If you knew where it was, you would. It's on the I-10 as you're going into Arizona. It's the last town in California on that Riverside County. Going
It
crossing.
sounds like a place close to nowhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
that's
middle
the
of the
middle of
desert.
fucking. It's bumfucked Egypt. That's
Let me try to tell you,
Timbuktu.
our
I've
closest high
never heard
school
of
that
it.
we played was 97 miles away.
Wow.
How funny! How funny! Yeah,
That was
that's
the
the
closest.
sticks, man.
Yeah, you
I
wouldn't
thought.
think something
I
like that
thought.
in California could be, but yeah, 97 miles to the closest. We don't have the closest movie theater from our house is 80 miles away.
No, I hear
We
you.
got
That's like Barstow. You know, that's the middle of
no,
nowhere.
our Barstow at least
So what
has
did
stuff.
you do? I mean, was there a playground when you grew up
Yeah, the
there?
river, the Colorado River.
The
You know,
river.
the river it goes through the Grand Canyon and all that goes right by our house going to Mexico.
So that was pretty much the playground that
Oh
was.
yeah. Oh, you wouldn't believe how many people in the summertime flock to our town because of the river. They don't,
To
they
go
get away from the
rafting.
oceans and
Yeah,
the salt water and all the crowd. They'll always come to Blythe
sure.
for the
Mhm.
fresh
And
water.
you're
Uh-huh.
right about the crap. Like LA dumps out all the sewage into the ocean. So yeah, it's always you're surfing with turds. I grew up surfing, so yeah, you're always surfing with turds.
And it's
Ugh.
not just
Yeah.
not dirty. It's just the salt water and there's a lot of people, believe it or not, don't like going in that ocean because you become part of the food chain.
Oh no, and yeah, it's horrible. There's jellyfish, there's sharks. I got bit by a baby tiger shark when I was a kid. I
No
mean,
way.
yeah, I never even wanted to surf. My older brother made me surf, and I did it for I don't know since like 9 years old, starting out boogie boarding and skim boarding until I was 25. So I did like 16 years of surfing, and I hated every single day of it. I got slammed and thrown
He
over
did
the
16
falls,
years
and
of surfing, and he hated every
yeah,
single day. What
yeah, I
the
still
fuck,
hate it.
man?
I mean, I would go out and surf today, but I wouldn't like it because you get dirty and it's just nasty. And it's fun though, like when you get tubed or you get decent waves, which you never get. Like Huntington, there's some fairly decent
You need to.
waves,
You
and
need
then
to. I mean, you need to
we'd
have some.
surf in Baja. It
You
was
need to
fun
have
to
some
surf in Baja,
decent
California.
experience that actually gets you into the surfing. But apparently, you never
Yeah,
had
no, yeah,
that
I fucking hate
experience.
it. I always
We
did.
weren't
Both.
paying attention in the chat. You got hi, Frank Moonrock said hi, and then it says the all singing, all dancing Sarah, the raging tomato, and he likes her too. So there's 3-1. You're out,
Okay,
Frank.
that's all right. Good magic. I appreciate you guys. To each his
No.
own, right?
Okay,
Different strokes
let's
for
talk about
different
somebody
folks.
we all hate.
Hey,
Let's give
real
Real a
quick, boy, can
shout
I ask you
out.
a question about
Rose
your
Triple
ocean?
Seven. Yeah.
What
Sorry.
ocean is by you, boy?
What?
What ocean is closest to you?
Hoe noem je dat?
What
De Atlantische, Atlantic Ocean.
Atlantic? Are there any sharks in your area?
No,
Too cold?
no, that's not the case because there's sharks also go in cold water. That might be
But
in my level.
you don't hear any shark attacks in your area ever?
Never, ever. No.
So then how do you know there's sharks there?
What do you mean?
Well, we always get shark attacks in
Yeah,
Florida,
and
in
that's
Australia.
listen. That's why we fucking live here. Okay, there's no sharks in the ocean. There's
All right,
there's no mosquitoes. There's no lizards. That's why we live here. And the land
here's my
is fruitful.
response to
That's why we
Rotten
live in the
Tomato.
Netherlands. There's no
I'll
lizards.
drop it though.
There's no sharks. There's no mosquitoes.
But you guys got monsters.
No, we don't have alligators.
No monsters. I'm teasing you.
Yeah, you got
We,
Loch Ness,
we
right?
import the monsters. We import the monsters.
So, Voy, you said we were going to talk about somebody that we all don't like.
No, we all like.
Godhard Guardian is here. Good man, good to see you. I'm not sure who this is. He says that Jack
Guardian.
Talcott
I think he lives.
awful.
Godhard Guardian is an Italian dude that is his occupation is guarding the Gotthard Tunnel, if I'm not
The
wrong.
Okay.
what
And
tunnel?
Gotthard.
the Godheart title. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gutak. And Moon Rocks, that's Ricardo Sunshine, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, hola. Good to see you, Ricardo. Good looking out. Yeah, I had a little joke here for Rotten Tomato. Um, she looks like a 12-year-old boy, and I bet her ass is just as tight. I'm just being evil, but I'm sure it is.
Maybe a
So
pussy.
where do you live now, Frank?
I live in Twilight Zone, Old Peking, man. I've lived in China since 2001. I moved yeah, I moved over here when I was 30 because I wanted to I went into like a graduate program to study poetry and Taoism is what I'm really interested in. So yeah, when I got here they asked me how long are you going to stay? I said, "Well, I'm 30. I spent 30 years in the States. I might as well spend 30 years here." And I've almost done my tenure. So I'm getting on into
Five
my
years
third
short.
decade.
Yeah, 5 years
That's
short.
right. That's right. I've almost finished a life sentence here. So yeah.
Wow, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, growing up in LA, like I used to go to Chinatown a lot. My dad took me there when I was a kid, and I'd run around a lot. Like I'd go into the Mexican hoods, and I'd go into the black hoods, and I'd go into the Hawaiian hoods. And I told my dad, I'm like, I want to study a foreign culture and a foreign language. And I told him all about the Mexicans. I'm like, I want to be a gangster, a lowrider, whatever. And he told me, he said, if you're going to study a foreign culture, study the Chinese. He said they have something to offer philosophically, and they have a good work ethic. And so, yeah, I laid in full throttle and used to go to Chinatown all the time, and learned basic Chinese as a kid and kung fu and all kinds of other stuff. And yeah, it just became a lifelong passion of mine. I wanted to study a foreign culture. I mean, growing up in LA, it's kind of, it's a diverse environment.
That has such a bad ring to it. That word diverse these days.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. Yeah,
Because
LA
it's
was a
been
melting
forced
pot,
upon people. I hate it.
and
It's
we
mean
all,
when anything's forced, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
yeah, we all
It's
tried
just
to
forced.
battle it out too. Fuck it. I mean, look at how many times LA riots and we try to kill each other. Gang violence in the 1980s when I grew up. I was born in the 70s, and during the 80s, like everybody was literally shooting each other daily. So yeah, it's not a fun thing. But I'll tell you, to be honest with you, during that period, the Chinese and maybe the Koreans were the ones that basically integrated the best, kept to themselves, and worked jobs and built communities better than any other ethnicity in LA at that time, other than the whites. I mean, the whites were always doing the right thing, but
Well, you mean they integrated? They didn't assimilate. That's for sure. They made their own neighborhoods.
no,
They
yeah,
did.
Chinatown. They didn't integrate. They kept their own thing going.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't assimilate. They didn't take up the American customs or anything. None of them did. Not neither did the Vietnamese. And all the everywhere in the LA area, you
But
got your own section
that's
of the Asians. But they don't fight the system. They just do their own traditions.
yeah, that's
Right,
typical
right.
for Asian culture in other cultures, right? That's the same. The Chinese, I mean, they integrate with the Dutch as much as
And like
we have Chinese restaurants, right? But there's not much mixing. There's not much
No, no,
mixing
and like you said,
of
they don't diversify either. Like I was
no.
always told by every Chinese people. I was even like a member of a Chinese family for like a good portion of my life, and they said a Chinese girl will never marry you because you're white. Like
Yeah,
that's just something we don't do.
yeah. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, It's I'm
Right,
just
right.
pointing it out, like this is how they behave, right? And it does happen. Of course, mixing does happen. Also, in not only biologically but also business-wise, right? Mixing will
Yeah,
happen,
no.
but not as much. I mean, they are Asian people are quite strict about it.
Yeah, and they're very internalized and they're very like closed door and they want to maintain racial purity and they
Yeah,
don't want to dilute their culture. I mean, it's just something they don't typically do. And so
which
I
is
I
which
was
is
I
to
was
be respected, right? I think
absolutely, absolutely. I was a motherfucker that wasn't going to be told no, though. I'm like, it might be no now, but eventually I'm gonna master your culture.
That sounds
I'm
like
gonna
a
become.
challenge for this
That's
magician.
right. That's right. You ain't blocking no doors to me. I'm gonna get busy
Guardhart
with it.
Guardian said that he's thought about going to China to teach, but that's only because someone suggested it.
Oh well.
He wants to know where you're going
Okay.
next after China, Frank.
So now I want to know from Gotthard Guardian, like who suggested it to you? You know, it's like because that might be the real question to ask here.
Well, I didn't come here to teach. That became like a secondary aspect. I came here to study. I didn't really have any interest in in teaching per se. I was more interested in just trying to master the language. And there were a few alchemical texts that like the Shen Shen Zhuang and the Bao Pu Zi that I wanted to read directly from Chinese without like having the difficulty of not being able to understand it in the cultural context and the original language. And so that was my main drive in coming here. Getting married was secondary and just kind of a part of
The
wanting to
language.
stay on.
So the
Yeah.
the struggle with the language was actually a bigger struggle than with
Oh,
the body
absolutely. Yeah.
language,
It,
right?
it took me, I did 6 years of like extracurricular studies at university in the States before I came over. And then I did
Wow.
3 years at university here. So that was close to 10 years of like official collegiate study. And then after that, it took me another 5 years before I could fully integrate with the local culture and participate in conversations with like a high level of fluency. So I invested,
Man,
good
that
God,
that
close to 15 years. Yeah.
that
But
took
I'm a
some
slow learner.
dedication,
So yeah,
man.
I'm a
Wow.
slow learner.
Well, especially when it's letters you don't recognize. When I spent 5 years in Turkey and I lived out in the villages, right? And when no one speaks English, you have to learn their language quite quickly.
Tell me
And
some tell me some Turkish words, Harmon. This comes as a surprise to me because I
yeah, I
was
haven't been there since 1984. I haven't spoke there. My first words I learned was I remember it says I took a taxi out to the Mediterranean Sea and I told him I said Yolumu Betum, and that means I'm lost. And I said, and then I said, that was the first thing I learned. The second words I learned was Lutfenbana Yadamed, and that means, will you please help me? And they all start laughing. All these men are in this tea house are all laughing at me. That's because that's the first phrases I had to learn in Turkish.
that's like that's most of the times when you go to another country, you learn the cussing words, right? Like the word for pussy or the
Yes.
word for
Right,
goddamn.
right,
And I
But
right.
never did
Yeah.
learn those words.
but in
all
Turkey,
that comes
but
all
in
that comes
Turkey
very
they
easy.
teach
Yeah.
you how to be a victim. I'm lost.
Yeah.
Please help me.
And honestly,
Oh
to be
man,
honest with you guys, like street language, I learned within the first couple
that's
of
so
years.
devious,
What I'm
man.
talking about is like reading a newspaper, reading a book, like higher level collegiate studies. But if you want to learn like brass tacks type of language, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Pimsleur method, but it was developed for CIA agents going into country. And so basically, they developed the system so that within 6 weeks you can get a basic understanding of any language. And I think they
Really?
have every language under the sun in the Pimsleur method. And it's a German guy
Pimsleur.
who originally
Pimsleur
developed it.
sounds like a Dutch guy. It sounds like the
Yeah,
name
yeah, it is. It is. And
Pimsleur.
but his method's one of the most superior. The one that only comes like, yeah, I would say in second place to that is
Can
the
you can you
Rosetta
can
Stone.
you run us through this method?
Um, it comes in three levels each language, and there's 30 minute audio tapes in each one. So like level one, you've got 30 minute lessons that you listen to in 30 days. And so the
Okay.
whole thing can take you 90 days to complete, and it can get you to an advanced conversational level. And every single lesson starts with, imagine that you're on a train and a beautiful woman sits down next to you. That's the first lesson in every language. I've done Hebrew, French, German, Italian, Spanish. I've done all of them. And they all start the same way. Imagine that you're on a train and a beautiful woman sits down next to you.
In
You'd
a
like
red
to say,
dress. Right?
Yeah, that's right. You'd like to say hello to her, wouldn't you? So, motherfucker, they know how to pull in a man, right? Because it's geared towards agents. And so, yeah, it's good fun.
Well, that's a good. Spell the word penciler.
Yeah, I wrote it here. Pimsleur. Pimsleur.
Okay. So yeah. So
And so
boy,
it's
I was
named.
looking at.
So this is named. This is named after the man whose name was Pim Slur, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
How did I mean, that's crazy, man. All these Dutch people, they come up with these
Well,
genius ideas.
yeah, they know their shit, man, and it works too. Like if you go through it, his basic canter, like his the method of ingraining it into your memory, like is extremely accessible to anyone, like in any language.
It's very effective, right? It's like when you learn a language and you read Apple and you read like I forget the French word for apple at the moment, but or what? Gabon? No, that's ham. Well, you read the Spanish word for ham, right? And it's jabón. Um, but it would work better. It would work better if you hold the ham in your hand and
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
somebody would tell you this is jabón, right? This is not ham. This is jabón. Es
Hey guys,
jabón,
we got to
right?
take a minute to say hello to Jim Anus. Dank Anus is in the house. Jim, you can know him by his anus and you can know him by his Jimmy. Good to see you, Jim Anus. Thanks for stopping by. Good looking out,
It's
man.
his last name, his anus.
I call him Anise. It's to me, it's pronounced Anise.
Oh, is it anise? Okay, my bad. I
Yeah,
learned that
you know what anise is, Frank?
from Vlad the blacksmith. I do, yeah. The anise that's it's an herb that they use in cooking, right?
Yeah, well, and they use it for the hardcore alcohol in the Mediterranean area for ouzo or raki that's made out of
Oh,
anise. It has the flavor of licorice, which is
Oh
terrible flavor
wow,
to me.
yeah. Very good.
Anise,
Oh, you didn't
no,
anise
like
is
no,
the
that?
no,
licorice
no. It
flavor.
doesn't have the flavor of licorice. It's part of the flavor of licorice.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's the flavor of licorice.
No, it's
They have
not.
it in a Chinese
You,
liqueur here
y'all,
too as
y'all
well.
don't know nothing about licorice.
Oh, he
Licorice.
almost sounded like a
Oh,
southerner right there.
listen, guys, come on. You don't. You cannot
Yeah, he
tell.
did.
You cannot say anything about licorice if you're not Dutch. Okay. If I mean,
Why are you guys licorice people?
yes,
Yeah, why is that?
yes, that's
Is that
us. We are the
Oh, horse
licorice
feathers.
people. No, I mean, we
I'm
don't even.
looking it up.
We
I'm
don't.
you
calling you
guys
out on that.
We
it
don't
seems like
even
they
call it
conquered some
licorice.
Caribbean
We
islands
call it.
just to grow licorice.
We call it drop, 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 drop. We don't call it licorice. It's drop, and
Well,
we consume the most of that in the world per capita.
it's good magic. It's antiseptic and it's good for the stomach. So yeah, I can appreciate it. My wife hates it.
It's a Dutch invention, once again.
It says from Southern Europe and Western Asia.
Nah,
Y- Yeah,
Licorice is also
sarsaparilla.
known. Licorice is derived from the root of.
But the Dutch
look
conquered
up
some
drop.
islands in the
Look up drop.
Caribbean and grew a bunch of it and had like
Look up
they had
drop.
a I think they had a stranglehold on the trade of licorice for a while.
It says regions of Greece, Spain, Italy, and the Mediterranean area.
But look
Licorice.
into the spice trade.
Yeah,
Look
but
into the spice trade.
that's the herb, right? That's the spice. Yeah.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
just says licorice, also known as licorice, is derived from the root of the something G plant.
Look up drop because I thought that you were talking about the can.
Harmon, Jim says his anus is dank, and he says you can say it any old way you like, but it's liquor anus the way he
I
likes
like
it.
I like Jiminice. It sounds so cool. I mean, Vlad gets off on the word too much, you know. I say, okay, Vlad. So I
He
told him
does.
tonight when he was getting on Anise, I said it's Anise. I think that sounds so cool. So I'm gonna call him Anise from now on. That's me.
Yeah, I missed the show, man. Vlad did like fucking 10 hours today, right? That's huge.
No, I only caught one show. It was a 2-hour show, as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was
I
longer.
caught him.
I cut off because he just kept talking, and and so I finally cut off on it. Then
You
tuned
never
back in
stop
later.
talking, dude. I mean, yeah, that's
Void, do
whatever.
you know Vlad as well? Or you ever go over to Ironwork?
Dude, We just talked about him, man. He was this
Okay.
avid anti-white guy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, I call him the blacksmith, and I say that he's hammering globetards flat in the foundry. I got nothing but love for Vlad. I don't care how fucking anti-white racist he is. That shit don't bother me. I grew up.
No, me
I grew
neither.
up
But
hearing
the thing is,
every time I heard there's Whitey, I always knew it was time to run. So
Yeah, I don't think my slide on him. I don't think he's anti-white.
no,
I don't.
No, but he, well,
I know
sometimes
people do, and
he
he's
does.
had it said to him.
He does talk like these academic people, right?
Like he's
In
what?
he does talk like these lefties people, every once.
like he's among the intelligentsia. Here's the craziest thing I ever fucking knew. I grew up learning about like all sort of like racism, and everyone always said, "Oh, the fucking whites are so racist." And I was like, "Have you ever fucking stepped outside and been shot at? What the fuck are you talking about? That whites are racist? We're the least racist clan in these hoods. I mean, we're the ones constantly running and drive-by shootings, and like we never
I
in
mean,
my hoods where I
some
grew up."
people say racist like it's a bad word, and I'm like,
Well, they're talking about like the old South where they used to lynch a nigger or whatever, but that shit was never going on where I grew up, man. It
Dude,
was
they'll
always
take
me
you. They'll
running.
knock your channel off for that.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Yeah,
You
you gotta be
think?
careful with that.
Oh,
I know
well,
they will.
well,
They've done it
let,
100
let,
times.
Yeah.
let me cue up some Easy E. Give me a quick sec here. Yeah, you guys go ahead. Tell me what you think.
Licorice
Nigga
all
this, nigga
sorts.
that. Nigga, please.
Well, really nice black back in the day. It says licorice all sorts, really nice back in the day. That's what Moonrocks were saying. Moonrocks, there's really only one flavor of licorice. All the other are called, they're
Now,
not called
see, you don't
licorice,
know
they're called
nothing.
red vines
Hey,
and candies.
now see,
Am I right,
okay,
boy?
Harmon, look up DROP. So drop, right?
Hang on. DROE?
Drop.
DROE.
P. DROP.
Is it?
All right,
Okay.
here we go, guys. This is what I grew up listening to.
Look
I
up
think
drop and then licorice.
Drop licorice?
and then
Okay.
I'll give you guys a
Holland
second.
or
I'll give
the
you guys a second.
Netherlands,
Yeah.
and then do I don't know, pictures or whatever.
Drop
Yeah, not
licorice.
just
I'm
yet.
seeing it. Yeah, I got it right here.
Give me a
Licorice
second,
drops
guys.
is
Give me a
what we
second.
call them.
Okay, yeah, we do. We call them licorice drops. Give me just a second, guys. This is I met Easy E at the Compton swap meet when I was like 11 years
Oh
old.
yeah, you told me this
And
one.
yeah, I shook his hand. He
Person
said,
walks
"Get
up
that
to
little
Easy
white
E
boy
and says,
up
"Hey,
on
nigger."
stage." And this is what he told me.
Depends on how you said it. Like if you say, "What's up, nigga?" then that's cool. But if you just say, "Nigger," then I'm gonna take it different. And I might be over there, you be pulling me off of it, you know?
Now, if a white person walks up to Easy E and says, "Hey, nigger,"
Depends on how you said it. Like if you say, "What's up, nigga?" then that's cool. But if you just say, "Nigger," then I'm gonna take it different. And I might be over there, you be pulling me off of it, you know?
All right. So if a white man walks up to me and says, "Hey, nigga," it just depends, right? You know. So I'm not gonna take that shit too seriously, man. I grew up hoodie. Like I said, I was born
Sweet
on
Storm
the
Radio.
border of Compton and Long Beach, and niggas with attitude. I mean, you can't say the name NWA without niggas with attitude. I mean, that's just what it is. You know, you can't censor out my past. You can't cover up what happened. You know, it's just a reality. So yeah, that's just true facts.
So,
Especially,
But anyway,
you're right.
anyway,
Especially if you
tell-
have that band name, you can't deny it. Right?
yeah, tell me about your licorice drops. What kind of licorice drops y'all got going on?
yeah, I was going to say, what, okay, I got licorice drops. What do you want to know about them?
What are they good for? What's the upshot, right?
I think you feed them to pigeons that you want to kill.
Really? No, those are Alka-Seltzer tablets.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm just
when those
joking.
motherfuckers shit on you, you be like, "Baby, I got something for you." You out on the beach, toss a
These
little this,
guys
a
are
little
back
that.
into the Bronx and Brooklyn lore, and like of the '80s. Like what the fuck?
Licorice confectionate.
No, it's good stuff. I appreciate licorice. The best licorice ever comes from a licorice company out of the UK.
No,
I forget the name of
no,
it right now.
no, you
No, you
can't
think it's
have good.
Danish?
No, dude, from the Netherlands. The Netherlands. I mean, we have the most variety. We eat the most licorice. We are the
Do you have a
best.
specific confectioner that's like well known worldwide?
Okay,
Um,
I just put down there who makes the most licorice in the world. I just typed that in.
the
Let's see
Dutch.
what comes
Who'd
up.
it say? It's
The
got to
Dutch.
be the
No.
USA, man.
It says most manufactured due to varying metrics. Spain is often cited as the major producer of licorice drops,
Yeah,
particularly within Europe. However,
Wow.
However, China and the Netherlands also play significant roles in Your honorable mention, boy.
No, when fucking the Netherlands can
I don't
compete
care
with
about an
China,
honorable
that's
mention.
like
I care
night
about the
and
first
day.
place.
Your
Imagine
honorable
China's like
mention.
1.5 billion people and the Netherlands is like 50 people. And if the 50 fucking people in the Netherlands is making as much licorice as 1.2 billion Chinese, then no, yeah, the Netherlands have got it. I mean,
Hey,
imagine that. It's scale. You got to think about fucking scale, right?
Thank you.
boy,
Thank you for the acknowledgement there, Frank. Thanks.
Want to know my grandfather's name? It's Hans Jorgen Mortensen.
Ah, so that's Danish, right?
Yeah, Denmark. Two generations ago, all my family that came from Denmark.
Hans-Jørgen Mortensen. That's how you pronounce that. Hans-Jørgen Mortensen.
Yeah, it's
They
really
probably
nice. I
pronounce
like
it
that.
different.
No, I'm saying it right.
Oh, is that how I said it? I said it right. Yeah, Hans Jorgen Mortensen.
Hans-Jørgen Mortensen.
Well,
Yep.
Harmon, as being a Californian, who do you think is the best chocolatier ever?
Chocolatier?
Yeah.
Chocolates are
Who
made in
make,
the East Coast.
but who makes the best chocolates in the West Coast in California?
Sears? Sears?
Yes, absolutely. See's
See?
candy. Oh my
Yeah,
God. Their fucking milk chocolate Bordeaux is so dynamite. Unbelievable. Good
I
God,
don't
what
even
good
think no Sears
chocolate.
candy in the East Coast.
They have it in every airport in the US right now. So anytime you're leaving the US, doesn't matter which airport you fly out of, you can get a $25 pound box of See's candy. And I always do, man. I'll drop $100 bill and bring back some See's candy. Good God, that's damn good chocolate.
Well, the best chocolate I found going out through the world the part of the world I've been in was the Cadbury chocolate they got out of England. That stuff
Okay,
is
yeah, UK. That's legit, man. That's good
yeah.
stuff.
It's about the only thing they got food. Their food sucks. Have you ever gone to an English restaurant? No, they don't have them because they suck.
No, I went to
It's not.
quite a
Oh, you go to
few.
Dude,
China, you go to Chinese, you go to
it's
Korean, you go
funny
to
that you say
sushi.
that,
Huh?
Harmon. Since Amsterdam has become such a haven for um, medicinal tourists, right?
Yeah.
They actually have coffee shops or restaurants that serve especially English people, and they serve English breakfast. But that's the only thing. They're not an English restaurant, but
Right. They're
they
their
advertise,
breakfast.
they advertise with English breakfast.
Then
Because
riddle me this, Batman. Why
And
why are
to be
English
honest, I like an
chefs
English breakfast.
English chefs are some of the most world famous chefs. We got like Hell's Kitchen, we got
yeah,
Jamie
but
Oliver, sorry.
they
Yeah,
don't
that's
make
a
English
psyop.
food.
That's a psyop, dude. That's a fucking psyop.
Well, and it's
There
because
you
of
go.
personality. Motherfuckers got personality. They're like, what is that? Monty Python cooking in the kitchen. I mean, it's good fucking
But when's
fun.
the last time you went out to dinner and say I'm gonna go to an English restaurant? Never.
How
Never,
is
not
it?
once.
How is it that not all most of the world cooks are Chinese? I mean, have you seen how these people chop up a fucking carrot into a dragon? Just
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. And
within
Mexican,
like
like if
15
you're an
minutes. It's
American,
not like
then
it's
we
not
get
like they do it like and it takes them a day. No, they just do it like it's another Tuesday. Come on.
I
yeah, they're
think in
kung fu
England they
masters
had
in the
more
kitchen for
Indian
sure.
restaurants than anything else.
Yeah, that's true too. And I can't really tolerate Indian food myself,
Oh,
but
I
you
don't
guys
like
might
it
know
either.
more about it, being European. Yeah,
I
Americans
had
don't.
two guys that were exchange students that lived with me for about 5 months, and they have that curry, and I swear to God, they smell like curry. That's how much they put curry. It's like a flamingo eats all that pink stuff and they turn pink. I think that's part of the mixed color of the damn Indians because of that curry.
Yeah,
Sheesh,
and
that
not
stuff is
to
no.
follow up on that, like at the last academy I worked at, we had a doctor of biology, and she was an Indian gal. And one of the main complaints that the students had about her is that they said she stank. And as like the department manager, I had to investigate that shit. And so like I would go into the classroom like an hour or better after she left, and it was fucking dank. And I was like, and I couldn't, how can I approach a woman doctor, a PhD in biology, and tell her, do you ever fucking take a shower, baby?
It's not that. It's the curry. I'm telling
It's
you.
something else, dude.
It's so strong.
Even
It's
if they
so
showered,
strong.
dude, that might be okay. Listen, I don't want to make this a racial thing or
No, it's not racial.
no, but then again, I lived in
It's
South Africa.
culinary. It's not racial. It's culinary.
Culinary. It's also something that happens in the colonies, right? So something that happened to me in South Africa. We had this van, right? And my father is a very liberal guy too, and so he took in some of these Bantus, some of the black people, whether they were Suwait, I don't know where it was, Zulu, Sutu. Yeah. He took them in his van, and he took in like, how they are. I mean, there's might be 15 people fitting into the van, Yeah, okay, 15 people. Dude, that smell never got out of that van,
And it's the diet. I'm telling you. All the people I know eat the garlic. You go around them. Okay, like I played basketball for 38 years. I played 4 or 5 times a week. After a Saturday night, you go into the basketball court in the morning. Most of the people are black that are playing when I'm in the Air Force, and you can smell alcohol like it was coming out of their pores.
Yeah.
So it's your diet.
Right,
the curry and that lady you're talking about in China. That's the curry. I'm telling you, it really is.
Yeah,
they literally had to cancel her contract because it was so dank. And like I didn't know what to do. Like I couldn't say anything to her.
The thing is,
it's not my place to tell a woman, because I thought it was her pussy, and I was like,
No.
motherfucker, that shit is lit right there, But yeah, and garlic too. You're right. Like if you're not a garlic or an onion eater, and you have to be around people who eat a lot of garlic or onion, like it's like vampire fucking. It's bad mojo.
I smell it. My guys, when I'm golfing, I can tell you anybody who had garlic the night before, because I really can't handle that stuff. And it just carries with you. So it is your diet.
Yeah.
So what is the diet of the guys in South Africa? What would they eat that would make them smell like that?
Are we white folk just vampiric then?
For white folks, it's not.
Because I love some olive oil.
White folks and also Indian folks, by the way. It's I don't know how it is for black people or Indian or Asian people, but it's not very healthy to eat garlic all the time. You can eat garlic once in a while, right?
Right.
That's okay. But garlic, many gurus also have this opinion or this angle. It's more like a medicine, right? It's like a
right.
And you shouldn't use it daily.
It's fresh. It's extremely acidic fresh, and you should be careful with it.
Yeah, and it's very powerful, and it won't unalive you, but it's
but I think that
but if you use it daily, it's not a good routine to have. It's an.
But there's people who live by it. They take garlic pills every day.
Yeah, they do. And I think the reason the Asians use it so much in cooking is because it's extremely antiseptic, and it will kill parasites.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit wary of the foods and stuff. Yeah. And so when they stir fry, but the stir frying has a special attribute that a lot of people don't know about. Like the quick frying with super hot heat on the outside will actually have a different effect on vegetables and herbs than other forms of cooking. And so they've researched it for like 5,000 years. So I think they have a bit of a handle on it. And it will also lessen, also they soak it in water in order to eliminate some of the smell.
What, garlic?
mean, when you buy the
Yes,
the
garlic.
garlic in
That's right.
brine, right? The garlic in brine, that's like way less.
What's brine?
Brine is salt
Salt
water.
water.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what they do in China. They'll chop it and then soak it in salty water before
Yeah,
they use it in cooking. Yeah.
and
So
I
a
mean,
different effect.
it takes away some of the bite, but then again, it's like, yeah, it's different. You can use more garlic when it's been in brine. But yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, they just soften down the medicine, right? They just soften down the effect of it. So to
Back
Yes,
speak.
in,
it does. It
real
definitely
quick, I was
lessens
gonna
the
say
effect.
what back in '67 when my brother was, I was only like 8 or 9 years old. My brother was in high school already, but in the summertime he worked in the garlic fields, and I think that's where I ended up hating it so much because can you imagine working the garlic fields, picking up the garlic and putting it in bags and stuff, and then come
Wait
home?
a wait a goddamn minute. In '67, you were 9, so you were born in
Hey,
'58.
59.
Hardcore boomer here.
Damn.
Deep
Yeah,
core
no,
boomer here.
huge fucking kudos because your voice sounds young, like mid-30s. I mean,
I always get
that's a
Yeah, he
told
big
that.
never
deal.
really worked. He was a prison guard for most of his life.
Yep. 9 years Air Force and 23 years prison guard. I got to guard Charlie
Wow,
Manson.
that's good magic, man. That's a big deal. Like huge honors to you, man. Thank you for your
No,
service. And
no, 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 don't say that. That's propaganda. Trust me.
no, it's not though. It's not. Like
It
I had
is.
a
No,
dad. My dad
100%.
did 22 years. He did his
Yeah,
through
it's
World
Frank,
War II.
Frank, stop,
And
stop. I mean,
I think
there's
it's
a
a big
difference.
deal. You sacrifice
Okay,
by
no,
giving
you
up your
don't.
status as a
Harmon,
private
just let him
citizen.
do it.
You
Just let him do
sacrifice
Okay.
a huge portion of your energy in life. So that's a thing.
I played football and softball while I was in Turkey and England. Yeah, we went in there because it was a job, but nothing else to do. Hello? What happened? Frank dropped off.
Well, at least you're still here, Harmon.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know what happened to him.
Frank died.
I've never seen that happen before.
Well, he's
Oh,
in the
there he's
hell.
back. Are
He's
you
in the
back,
hell.
Frank?
Yeah, Chinese firewall booted me.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen your chat yet? You can see your chat again.
Let me check. Hold on.
He could see the chat
Yeah.
back then too.
Well, it bumped me. What's going on in the chat? What did I miss?
I know.
Good
It
looking
says.
out,
It says.
everybody in the chat. Go
Yeah, I'm
ahead.
looking. This guy says, "I'm in the UK. We don't get half the stuff you guys do. I don't get. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
the
behind
UK.
Moonrock.
The UK is being censored so deeply. The UK doesn't even have BitChute anymore. When
Yeah, let me give some quick shout
the
outs.
funny thing is, BitChute is
Go
being
ahead.
fired from the UK.
Yeah.
Let me give some quick shout outs to everybody in the chat.
Okay.
Like Jim Anus. Jim Anus is here. Good to see Jim Anus. Appreciate you looking out. Moonrocks is here. Good to see you, Moonrocks. Godheart Guardian. Good to see you. He likes the anus. He can appreciate that shit. I can appreciate it. Moonrocks, Jim Anus, and that's everybody, right? What did I miss?
No, that's it. That's it. I was just looking at the chats, what they were saying. Like the guy from the UK says, we don't get the stuff you guys do. So he's talking about like bit shooting stuff. Is that what he's saying, boy? You don't want to work at the Cadbury's chocolate factory. You'll be obese after a few months. Well, Mr. Moonrocks, I already weigh in American pounds. I weigh 295 pounds. I'm 6'5".
Damn, that's huge. Yeah, you're a fucking giant, man. My brother was 6'2" and got up to like 440, and he
Well,
had a
that's.
diabetic heart attack at 47.
Oh, is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that sounds pretty obese, Harmon.
At 6'5",
295 at 6'5", that's not bad. That's not huge. You got a bit of a belly, but that's
Give it to me.
Yeah.
6'5".
People are already
bad.
amazed.
How many pounds?
These
200,
Norwegian guys,
295.
they don't understand the fucking American system. They got this, Harmon, if you don't know, they have this crazy fucking system. It's the metric
it's not
system.
morbidly obese,
It's
but
unimaginable.
that's
It's evil. Nobody understands it.
No,
It's
boy.
just it's
I am obese, 100%. I won't say I'm a very fat, out of shape guy. I should weigh about 225 to 230 to be healthy,
Right.
yeah. That sounds about right.
and that's what it would be to be healthy. So I always every Monday, which is today, I said I'm going to start. I start every Monday, and by Wednesday, I'm back to drinking my sodas and eating chocolate cake.
No, I don't
Well,
believe you. I don't
I'm
believe. Is
5'10",
it really what you?
155,
I
so
mean,
I'm about right.
do you really drink sodas and eat cake?
Oh, you damn right. I drink Cokes. I drink my diet. You know, the only thing I do that's healthy,
Dude,
to offset it,
it
I
would
drink
be so easy.
my distilled water, and I go barefooted in the park all the time.
The
For
thing
like
is,
8 years, I don't wear shoes.
the thing
Well,
is,
that's good
if you would
magic.
just,
And you're an older
if you would
dude
just,
too. It's hard to
Frank,
live
I mean,
old
how easy would
at
it
that
be
height.
to
Go ahead.
change this man, to change this man's behavior, or is? I mean, I
No, I wouldn't be interested in changing his behavior. Just keep doing what you're doing, and like
no,
there's either a
just
real no.
start
Listen,
making tea.
let
Start
me
making
talk for a
tea.
moment. Let me talk for a moment. I mean, come
Sorry,
on,
Frank.
holy cows, man! I'm like Jack Talcott. I'm being here. I'm being ignored here on my own show, right? I would say that there's either a real need or a perceived need, and you should do exactly what you need to do to fulfill those needs. And you're going to live as long as you're going to live, and enjoy it, and interact with life, and do your thing, man. You're doing the right thing. You've
Okay,
lived
but
longer than
still,
most of the
Frank.
people I know that lived in perfect health. So yeah,
Frank, I just want to cook
I
healthy
can't
for
deny or
Harmon. I just want to
you,
cook healthy food for Harmon that Harmon
okay. We,
enjoys, and
You guys
I
hold
want to
down the show for
present
a
him.
second.
I want to
My
present him
wife
with
is trying to
cold
call me, so
tea
I'm
and
I'm
hot
gonna back
tea
off for a
Okay,
second.
okay, all right.
instead of sodas, and just prepare some good rice meals for him and some because
Let me give you a question
I
I
mean
asked very few people. Let me ask you a question, boy.
yeah.
Okay, now in the United States, we have what you call food groups that the health we're taught in school, the health food pyramid, and they always have vegetables in it, right? They're top of the pyramid usually, vegetables, right?
Yeah.
So what about where you're from in the Netherlands? What is it? Do they have like a food thing that the government suggests you should eat?
Yeah, back in the day, I mean,
Hey, honey,
I
what's
was
up?
yo, Frank. I'm from the 70s, right? I was born in the 70s, so we had the food pyramid thing too.
Okay,
I think
so
on the top of the pyramid was, I think, dairy, and I think the second layer was meat. Oh,
you think
sorry,
dairy was first?
I said diary,
I know what
right?
you said. Well, it doesn't matter. We
Yeah,
understood.
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So
Yeah,
okay, vegetables. Okay. Now
but
we know, like in I don't know what's in China, but we know, like in the tropical islands and in the Thailand and all stuff, all these trees, you could live off all the fruits and
yeah,
berries and trees, all these places, right?
yeah.
I mean, we know that. We go to Canada, they have berries and fruits everywhere, in Washington and stuff like that. Where in the world? And they could live out in the wild. You don't have, no man has to take care of them. Of course, if you do take care of them, you could probably farm them and stuff. But
Mm,
you don't have to. You can find them in nature.
mm.
Where do you find carrots, tomatoes, radishes? Where do you find them in nature? You
Dude,
don't. Man has to farm them. So where did they come from in the first place?
that's a good question. So I mean, okay, I will not answer that question, but here it makes me think of another question that I had it's about animals. It's the same question. So sheep, right? They produce wool. What happens to sheep if they don't get shaved?
Well, it seems like the
They die.
domesticated ones that don't get shaved.
They
No,
die.
not the
They
wild
die.
ones, maybe.
Well, they do. They
I
also
know
die.
the domesticated ones that get loose, and if they don't get sheared, right? If they don't get sheared, they're gonna die.
Yeah. So
But
what's up with that? That's like, what's up with that?
how did they come around?
Same
Yes, I
question.
agree with you.
Same question as the tomatoes and the.
Well, it really basically is the same kind of mystery. what because you cannot tomatoes and all those fruits. I mean vegetables, not fruits,
or
not
is
fruits.
asking,
They
or
have
is
to be
ask-
done by man.
or is asking the question answering it?
I don't know how that would be answered. What about? I don't know how they answer the sheep. I never thought about the sheep. If you don't take care of the sheep, they die.
Well, right. So that's why I said asking the question is answering it.
No, how? It doesn't make no sense. How is that answering anything? I don't understand. I really don't.
Because it's such a good question that if you answer, you just answered it, right? If you don't take care of them, they die.
Right. What about the vegetables? But I'm just saying things that they tell you that are good for you. Everybody believes that these vegetables are the best thing in the world. You even got vegetarians, and the people telling you they're good for you are the same scientists, medicine guys, and the heliocentric people that tell you everything else. And they're forcing these vegetables down your throat.
What are you saying? Like, don't eat tomatoes?
I'm saying if the government's telling you to do it and don't eat meat, don't eat poultry. Over here, it's bad. I mean, they're trying to get us all off meat. They're trying to make it done by bugs and stuff now.
Yeah.
Right? But yet they say eat all the vegetables. Since when does the government care what you do?
Well, it's been quite a while.
Right. And it's always been that way. So where did the vegetables come from?
Are we still talking tomatoes?
Anything man has to, you can't have it unless man's watered it, take care of it, and grown it. You're not going to find tomatoes. You're not going to find strawberries. You're not going to find these things out in the wild.
That has to do with you and me living and always have lived in such an urban environment. Even if we go out into the country, we live in a somewhat cultured environment, right? And besides that, there's been so much development going on, and so much people invented stuff and did the deep dive, right, into whatever they wanted to dive into, and they came out with results. And that's why there's so much mix and so much diversity, right, in genetically, because people love to experience or to test around with stuff, right, and to make experiments. Like what happens if I mix this with that? What happens if I cross it twice and then cross it over again?
Right, I understand that. Is vegetables made from the lab?
Well, not lab, but farm lab, right? I mean,
I don't know where they came from. I can't figure it out. I can figure out all the fruits and trees and bananas and papayas and coconuts and all that stuff. That's in nature. Everybody can go and find this in nature, you know. Mm-hmm. But I just don't know where they got the nature. And your sheep thing, that's a good question. I'm gonna check out the sheep thing. That one, I love that question.
It's the same question that you asked.
It really, in a way, it is, because it can't survive without man.
Yeah,
is what you're saying. And like the vegetables can't survive without man's help harvesting them, and growing them, and watering them, and cultivating them, and planting them.
Yeah,
right. And the sheep's the same thing. Just because it's an animal doesn't mean it's not the same thing, but it is the same thing. So this guy says he weighs 13 stones, which I looked it up. It's about 186 pounds. So moon rocks, they weigh 186 pounds. Do they know?
I mean, what happens to a sheep when you let it loose?
That I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up if there's the domestic son, like a pig. Okay, I'll give you one thing I know about pig.
Oh, a pig will fucking survive, but a sheep.
Yeah, but no. I'm just saying a domesticated pig will not grow tusk. But you let that domesticated pig from my farm and I take it and release it out into the wild, within 2 years, it has tusk.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the sheep doesn't go on. I'm just saying, is there a difference between a domesticated sheep and a sheep in the wild? That's what I want to know.
Well, what the fucking sheep are in the wild? I mean, A sheep
Oh, we
is,
got all kinds of wild sheep out here where I live.
and so they
They call them
lose.
mountain goats and stuff like that, and the sheep out
Yeah,
there.
that's.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a goat. That's not a sheep.
yeah, but we got mountain sheep too and stuff like that out there. We got sheep around.
How do they fucking lose their?
So I'm saying, is there a domesticated kind and a wild kind? I have to look into that. It's a good question, boy. It gives me something to look up. I like that. Very good.
I think
Because I can't find the answer to my vegetable thing. So hence, the vegetables aren't good for you in my mind.
Yeah, that's it. I do appreciate that. I mean, carrots didn't used to be orange to begin with.
I don't know.
Carrots used to be purple and reddish, right? That's why they're called roots, because it's red, right? Root, rood, red. Redaction, right? It's the same in other languages. And but now we are used to orange. Why? Because it appeals to the eye. And people have been mixing around all these different.
So they're not natural then.
Well, they are natural. They're not created by deep mixing. They're just created by mixing, right?
Who mixes them? If you've taken something and mix it together, then it's man when it makes it not natural. Anything man makes isn't natural.
People that want to create something new, they keep on mixing.
I was going to ask Moonrocks right quick. Moonrocks, my boys were born in Oxfordshire, Headington, Oxfordshire. I just wonder if you're anywhere near that. Yeah, so you were saying they mix it to colors. They change the colors in the labs or something and made the carrots from purple and whatever color you said they were to orange because it's more appealing, you said?
Yeah.
So they did that in a lab?
No. They did.
How'd they change the color? They spliced the seeds and make them special colors?
No, they just kept on. How do you call this? I don't know how you call it in English at the moment, but yeah, they kept on mixing seeds. You know, the white and one became like pinkish, right? Because they mixed the seed that turned the root reddish, and the other one was more whitish. And so they created a stable pink one, you know, by mixing them. And then out of that pink one, they created a more reddish one that was more purple. And then from that purple one, they created a somewhat of an orange.
How'd they do that?
I don't know. Like I told you.
So it's not natural then?
I just told you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but they're not natural then is what I'm trying to say.
That is natural. That is...
If they altered it, it can't be natural.
They didn't alter it. They mixed it.
All right, gentlemen, what the fuck are you talking about? And I apologize for my absence. My old lady called, and I had business to do. Yeah, so but I'm back.
Okay, I was asking my question.
In action,
Frank.
Yeah, go ahead.
The question is we know there's all kinds of food that will feed us that are on trees, like in the Philippines, like in Thailand, like in South America. You got banana trees, papaya trees. You got all these fruits and all these fruits that you can get, and berries, fruits and berries. We know they're everywhere, right? They grow in the wild. They grow in nature. Right. You can go find them. But where did vegetables come from?
They're a cultivated thing, right?
Made by man. Without man, you cannot have it. And Voy came up about sheep, but I'll get that in a second. But where did vegetables come from? You never find any wild tomatoes. You can't find any wild carrots. You can't find any of this stuff.
They're engineered over a long period of time. That's why I think veggie heads are so evil. Like,
okay, I was just saying that. And Voy laughed at me.
They are. No, they are.
Yes. See, I said the government tells us. All these lies, but they tell you the truth that you should eat nothing but a vegetarian. So all of a sudden now they're telling you the truth.
Evil.
Is
all
that
right? You got to devour
when
flesh.
They say when they say eat your veggies, they mean vegetarian.
Keep you sick.
Yeah.
No, they promote vegetarian over here like you won't believe.
Yeah,
keep you
crazy.
Sick.
It does. It makes your bones weak. It makes you lethargic. it makes you deranged. It's not a good thing.
Yeah. So that
I
I've
mean,
always
I
asked,
can't give you any medical advice, but I think it's fucking absolute horseshit, in my opinion.
then boy, you're out on this one. We can't get something we all agree on yet, boy.
What about qigong? What do you guys think about like meditation and deep breathing and connecting with your the belly? What do they call it? Belly contemplation and that type of thing. Where are you guys at on that?
I sleep in the fetal position. I'll meditate that way when I go to bed every night.
Yeah, that's good magic. That's the way to do it, I think.
I put
What do you think,
myself.
boy?
I play a golf course, or I look at I think of waterfalls.
Okay. Voy, are you a belly breather? Do you like to contemplate your navel? And I don't mean in a gay way. You don't have to be gay just because you're a veggie head.
Where's Boy at?
I think I
Something must
missed
have
him.
happened.
Yeah, I think we pissed him off.
No, he ain't mad. I don't
No.
think I've ever really seen Boy get mad.
No, yeah, I think you're right.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I always ask, where in the hell did these vegetables come from? I said, it just doesn't seem right to me. You know?
Have you ever listened to any Ween?
Listen to
Do you
what?
know Ween, Ween?
As the rock band.
Yeah, the rock band Ween.
Oh no, I'm trying to
I
quit.
heard some of their songs, yeah, but I wouldn't recognize them as Ween songs. But I think. I know
Okay, anyway, they had like a whole album about like push the little daisies and watch them pop up, and they did like this whole thing where they were tearing the carrots out of the ground, and the carrots were screaming in protest, and they didn't want to be murdered, and like it's the whole thing about the carrots being murdered by the veggie heads, and it was kind of a big deal, and that was like back in the mid '90s, maybe.
it sounds like it. Yeah.
You know.
And also, there
Anyway,
was this band called Spleen, too, right?
Spleen. No,
Yeah.
I don't know about it. Oh, good God.
Where were they
Yeah,
from, Boy? Do you know?
I think California. I'm not sure.
Yeah, guys. So my wife called me and she gave me a bunch of fucking secretarial tasks I need to
Missions.
Oh, you got honeydew list. All right, we'll let you go, buddy. And thanks for letting us on.
Yeah, no, good magic. I can appreciate it.
Hey,
And
Boy,
thank you
good
for
talking
holding
to you.
down the show, guys.
Yeah, it was
while
good
I was
talking to you
fucking
again, Harmon. It's been
while
a
I was
while.
incognito. You give me some final words, Harmon. Let me know what you're up to. And do you have a website or a channel?
No, I don't have nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
I've been a flat earther since like about late 16, 17. I'll just go 17. And
Okay, yeah.
are you a flat earther, Frank?
I started in 17. Yeah, I did. How did you find out about it? I did a contemplation from one of Robert Anton Wilson's books on paradigm shifting, and I didn't even know it was like an entire thing. And then, like, I found out much later on that like all these things were going on, and I just did it on my own inspiration. So yeah, I'm an FE guy.
Good job.
About 17 as well.
I heard
Yeah.
about it in what happened. How I did it is in it was like March. In the States now, you've been gone for 30 years, but in the States they do pilot programs to see if they can test them like the late March and stuff, and see if they can pick them up for next season if they're any good or not. And so there was this one pilot on the Disney Channel, it's supposed to be ABC, and next thing you know, they had this little show that was supposed to be showing it's modern, and they had a modern nanny helping a single mom, and the little boy is going to be in kindergarten, and he wants to be a girl, and they're all telling him it's okay. So then when they're walking to the show, before the end of the show, they're walking to school, taking first day of school, and he looks up and says, "I think my vagina itches," and that's how the show ended.
Oh my God.
I took my TV off, and I got rid of the cable. That was it. And you know what? And so by August of this same year, because I quit, I just turned it off. Now I've been single for a long time by myself, so TV is my best friend. When I play golf, and I always tell my people I'm going home to be my best friend. They go TV. When I turned it off,
how long have you been single, Harmon?
Oh, since 2010.
Okay.
And so
turn your TV off and just the golf and
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
I
haven't
turned it
watched
off for
TV
4
since
months. After 4
'95. Yeah,
months,
go ahead.
I started getting thoughts. Things were coming in my head that hadn't come forever. So all this TV probably had been blocking my mind. And so after
Yeah,
then my
yeah.
people, I started talking like stuff, and the people at golf says, "What the hell's wrong with you? What are you talking about?" I said, "I don't
I'm
know,"
thinking.
and they figured it out for me. Oh, you quit watching TV 4 months ago.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They saw the
Wow.
difference in me, and I didn't see it, but I realized it. So then my first thing about, even before flat earth and stuff, I was going to the casinos, I was going to the betting tables, and I was telling people, hey, I got a challenge for you. I bet you there's something I can tell you that you can't do and that you're addicted to. I said, turn TV off for 6 weeks. I would challenge so many people this. Just turn it off for 6 weeks. You won't believe how mad people get when you challenge them that. And
Yeah,
that's all
good
I
God,
would
you
do for
sound
like 5 months.
just
Just challenge
Oh,
them.
that's a good one,
yeah,
Harmon. I never heard somebody
you
say
sound
that.
just
Oh,
like my older brother. My
not in a
older
way
brother
that
did
you,
that thing.
not in a
What we
way
say?
that
He's the one that, yeah, he pushed me to surf. He pushed me to fast. He pushed me to do kung fu. And yeah, you sound like a are you like an elder brother, like the oldest kid in the family?
No, my brother died already, and
Oh,
no,
okay. Yeah.
I lived out in a farm by myself.
Harmon,
Closest neighbors were like 2 miles away. No kids. I didn't know. You didn't know growing up on a farm you weren't lonely. But anyway, so what were you saying, Voy, about that challenging the TV?
yeah, yeah, that the way you bring it. I mean, of course, there's been people saying it, right? Throw away your television, but the way
No,
you
I don't
bring,
say throw it away.
right? But the way you bring it, it's
Yeah,
different. Just
yeah, that's
stop.
what I'm saying. Yeah, I ask them, hey, you think you're not addicted? Just try giving it up for 6 weeks. And
Dude.
they
And
literally could.
listen,
They can't do it for 3 days.
I have been in a similar experience, but inversed, right? So I threw away my television already. I was sick of it. I think 2005, 2008. I don't remember. And I got another job besides the job that I was already doing, and but it was more stable, kind of a job, right? More
Yeah.
instead of part time. And I started doing that job, and these guys that I work with, they were just talking about television like all day long, like what they saw yesterday on television. I was like, wow. Okay, yeah, so yeah, so I mostly stayed quiet. I wasn't a total zombie or total nerd, but I didn't watch television, so I couldn't talk with them about that. Um, and so I started watching television after a week because I was like, yeah, man, gotta watch the television, just to keep in touch with these guys. And I was so appalled with myself after 2 days of doing that. I know, man. I mean, I got to spend my free time to keep up with my business time. No, no, I'm not gonna do this. And they fucking hated me too after 2 weeks. Like,
Well, they take it personal that you don't watch TV because
they
anyone
do,
knows watching too much TV
right?
isn't good. Well, isn't that right? You think, Frank?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, there was I've
Yeah.
also been in situations where there's more diversity, so to say, right? There would be people watching it and be very fond of it. There would be people knowing what's going on and not be fond of it, and there would be people that didn't know what's going on, and all of them got along, right? It's not
Yeah.
necessarily a problem always.
Well, I haven't had a TV since like '95. And
Really?
Wow,
in
wow.
'01, I remember seeing like, what went down then, and it seemed so fake to me. Like it was like basically they were running VHS tapes over VHS tapes. And I thought this just seems like a scam. And so that's when I came to China. It was during that year. And I didn't have any TV over here. I'd sit down and watch a little Chinese television from time to time. But like Chinese television is 20 years behind Western television in like its presentation style. They caught up quick though. Within a decade, they had advanced beyond Western media. And you have to think because they're broadcasting to a population of like 500 million people watching the boob tube. So they have a very strict like broadcasting laws and stuff. And I don't know. I've always kind of known it was a scam, but like I said, Harmon, I had an older brother who was big into this stuff when I was a kid, and he's kind of the one that guided our path towards like kung fu and like esoteric arts and this type of thing, and again surfing. You know, a lot of things I didn't want to do, but
Yeah, you told me you got bit by a shark, then he sent you out to the ocean anyway.
right, right, and a
Wow.
jellyfish, got stung by a jellyfish and a stingray. Oh no, we lost Void. Okay, it's just me and you head to head for a moment. Harmon,
Okay.
you're a California boy, just like myself. I appreciate you being here, man. I really a lot of love. Wow, what a thing! And I appreciate you guys holding down the show. I
This is my
invite you
last
back.
subject.
Go ahead. Yeah,
One last thing I was
anytime,
going to tell you.
anytime. Come back.
I was going to tell you
Go
one
ahead.
last thing. In 1969, we're all sitting around, and you were talking about, watching how fake the 9/11 was, or 2/11, or whatever that was. It's 9/11, and so we're watching. It was a Sunday night. I remember when when they landed on the moon. It was on a Sunday night, so they got us all watching around the TV. I could some reason remember it was like 5:30, 6:30 in the evening, and they're landing, right. And my dad started laughing. My dad, and if you find out, a lot of people are born in the 20s and early 30s. They all thought it was a phony and bullshit thing as can be. And my dad
Yeah,
started
absolutely.
laughing. Yeah, and if you go back and look at all the Chicago papers and all this stuff at that time frame in 1970, you had a big mass group that did not believe it, and it was my dad's age. They were in their
Yeah, my
so
dad was born in
69,
1923.
huh?
My dad was born in 1923.
Okay, my dad's born 29. So then anyway, so he just started laughing about it, just laughing. He said that is the phoniest thing in the world. And we're all saying, "Oh, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about." We're all 10 years old and 12 years old, and my mom and all that. No, that's real. So in 1977, a movie came out with O.J. Simpson and stuff where they were doing a trip to Mars, and then the thing blew up, and the astronauts were hiding out, because it was a fake. Do you remember that one? It was called
Yeah, 77 was Star Wars as well.
Capricorn One. Do you remember that movie?
No, I'd have
It
to
was
I'd have to go back and
it
check
was
it
like
out.
we say the Apollo mission where they faked it, and the astronauts are somewhere in the Bahamas or something vacationing. Well,
I was
that's what
5
this
in
movie,
77. Yeah.
huh?
I was 5 in
Okay.
77.
And so anyway, so in the movie, uh, the rocket was taken off and it blew up in the air. Right? And so all these astronauts that are hiding out, they go, "Oh, we can't be seen. They're going to kill us." So that was what the movie was about, trying to make it back to civilization to show that they were alive and that the rocket launch to Mars was fake, just like the moon landing, but they made it to Mars.
Yeah, well, and to follow up on that, here's another thing. Like my dad was on Task Force 1, Operation Crossroads, Operation and 3 other nuclear projects in naval intelligence. And when I was a kid, they would tell us to get under the desk and do all of this atomic
I don't
programming.
remember that though.
Do you not? And
And
I went home and I told my pops, I said, hey, they're talking about atomic bombs and they're telling us to do this, that, or the other thing. And he said, don't believe any of that shit, kiddo. He said, they're just big firecrackers. They don't have the bang
so
for their buck.
he knew,
And
yeah.
this is a guy that was on deck at Bikini Atoll, Marshall Islands, and they told them to put on sunglasses and watch the detonation of Abel and Baker, right?
Right.
And then
And
they
they were
washed them down.
both stacked with dynamite.
Right, right. They just fucking they lied about the entire thing.
They
And
said
yeah,
one.
that's
They told the guys on one, we got dynamite. The other one has the real, and the guys with the other one says we got dynamite. And they got the real. Yeah,
and
you could play people's minds so easy.
they told the men on the ships that they would be 13 miles out from ground zero, and it turned out that they were 1 mile. They were within the 1 mile
So
radius.
now here they thinking this explosion is so big that they're 13 miles away, and it's so big. But yet, I didn't know that part. But it's another mind fuck. The man,
Right?
they are
It's
so brilliant
non-fucking
how they
stop.
fucking control us. It's
And
amazing.
and this is how important this is, that we have communication, and like you bring up those things and those will bring up other facts on the other side, and we can fucking put the puzzle pieces together and let the world know. Yeah, so
But
good magic.
they won't take it. They won't listen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
If
matter. At least we
if you can
know.
convince somebody
And
to live on a spinning ball upside down, you can convince them on anything.
that's
You know.
right. That's right. Yeah.
And if you don't want to just look, then it's never. All these flat earthers think there's going to be this great awakening. No, there isn't. It ain't going to happen. It just
Well, and
isn't.
that's the thing too. It's not meant for them, that or the other person. It's meant that like me and you hooked up and Voy was here and I received the transmission, you received the transmission. And I think somehow that's even more important than like the grander awakening, these individual awakenings and like because we're the ones that are gonna pass into the void, and we need to know these things and our kids need to know these things. And for the rest of the world, why should we cast our pearls before the swine anyway, right?
Right. What time is it there where you're at?
It is almost 9 p.m.
And you got some list to do for your wife?
Yeah, she called me up. She's always got some fucking this, that, or the other
Do you
thing.
have
Yeah,
any
I got
children?
some work. I do have two children. My daughter's 18 and my son is going to be 16 soon in about a
My
month.
daughter's 42 and my boys are 39. She'll be 43 this year.
Wow. And what's crazy is that my dad is actually older than your dad. I was my father's 13th child.
Oh, there you go. And you're born in
Oh,
72?
yeah. I was the last
So
that
I'm
I know
13
of.
years. I'm only 13 years older than you.
Yeah, pretty close. But
Not
what
yet.
good
Yeah.
magic. I mean, like our parents, my father and your father, date back 100 years ago, and there's very few people alive that could say that. I mean, not as many as you would think, right?
Look, see if you can comprehend what I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
I have a friend who is 61 years old. Now, comprehend this. His grandfather fought in the Civil War.
Wow. Yeah. See, and I don't doubt that at all because if my pops was born in 23 and then his father would have been at least 30, 40 years older, right? Would have put him
Yeah.
back right at the end of the Civil War. Yeah, that's
I'll
big
tell you how
magic,
this worked.
man.
Yeah, but this guy was born. He was 17 years old at the Battle of Shiloh, and that was 63, I think. So you take 10 away, it's 53. He's born in 1846. This guy's grandfather. His grandfather,
Wow.
okay, was and was let me see. His grandfather had his last child. So 46 at 50. That's 1906. At 55 years old, so 1911.
Well,
He had a child.
yeah, that's a big
Okay.
deal. I'll tell you.
Okay. Well, let me finish this. So real quick.
Go ahead.
So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he
yeah.
had,
Land
and
it.
so this guy was born in 1911 had a child when he was 60. So 1911, 1972, 1968 or between 68 and 72, he had a child.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So see how far back that goes into just his grandfather now was born in 1846. This guy was born in 1969, let's say. Is that crazy?
Absolutely. And I've met one person that lived to over 100, an old gal in my neighborhood in LA, and she had a daughter that was 80 and another daughter that was like 76. And she smoked 5 packs of Pall Mall non-filters every day and kept a 38 special under her pillow. And she died at like 104,
Yeah.
right? So that's one thing. Let me follow this up. And I've only met three other people that neared 100, and they were all in the Tennessee Valley. My mom's family's from Tennessee, and
That's where
when
my
my
from.
pops
That's where my relatives are from, Tennessee.
Really, really.
Yeah.
And when my pops died, she wanted to move back there, so I went back there with her, and I met three old men, Reverend Chalk, Mr. Sanders, and another one, and they all died at 99, and they all had the same fucking habits. They all had been through the wars, and they all had smoked at some point but quit, and they all continuously had interest in women, like every single one of those old fucking men always came by the house and wanted to grab the tits of the widow, which was my mother.
Right. Hey, that's what I always tell everybody. I said, when I first started golfing, I was 38, and I'm golfing with the guys like they're 75 to 82 and 83, and if a good-looking girl came by, they all stop and stare. They go, Harmon,
Yeah,
learn
they're
this right
always
now.
horny. That's
You
right. You have to
never
have.
quit wanting them. You just can't do
That's
nothing,
right.
but you sure want them
Right.
still.
That's right. You always have to have that lust for life, and that's what keeps us alive, man. It's a real
I,
thing.
I agree with that.
A
Women
real
are my. See,
fucking
I've
thing.
never smoked. I've never drank. I've never done anything like that in my life. I haven't even tasted alcohol, right?
Good man. Good
And
man. Oh.
no, and it's not because of being good. Or I just never. My dad drank. On the New Year's parties, they tell me to go clean up all the liquor bottles and the Secret Seven
Okay.
bottles and stuff. But it didn't interest me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
If I was told do not drink it, I'd probably be an alcoholic. But they never
Right.
said don't.
It's like garlic to you.
Yes, there you
or,
go. Anyway, so
or
that's probably why
curry.
my voice isn't messed up too much. You know, that's all I can think of. All right, well, good to you, and we'll talk again when we get around.
Yeah, good magic. I appreciate you, Harmon. Have a blessed day, man. And I'll
You
see you
too,
next
sir.
time. Okay. Until next time. Bye. Yeah, good magic, guys. What a show. What a fucking thing, right? To be able to have such wonderful people. Voy, fucking absolutely, man. Beloved Voy, good to see you again. I appreciate you. The artista from the northern plains, man, of Europe. And Harmon, it was really wonderful to meet you, man. You're my elder, and I defer to you and pay huge respects to you. But one angle I do have on you is my father was a little bit older than your father, and that's something. It really is something, guys. Like this wonderful world that we're passing through. You know, we never know what's going to happen next, man. It's a big deal, and I appreciate everyone that chimed in today and stopped by to say hello. You guys can always check out more behind the scenes stuff over at the Buy Me a Coffee page. I can always appreciate that. And to finish us off here, man, I'll say a prayer before I got to get on these tasks that my old lady put at me. Um, I'll do the Lord's Prayer with you guys. If you know it, say it with me. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, dear Lord. Please give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we should and absolutely must forgive those who have trespassed against us. Please, Lord, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. I love y'all good looking, sexy people, and y'all keep on keeping on and doing good magic. And until next time, Ad Astra Prospera and Carpe Diem. Get out there and fucking touch grass, man. Seize the day. And until next time, keep doing good magic. Bye for now.